Everywhere you look on YouTube, you can see plastered how people have quit drinking, how their life has radically changed overnight, and all the benefits that seem to come with that. But there's actually another side to the coin that the industry seems to forget to tell you about. And in this video, I'm going to reveal the secret that no one in the industry seems to actually tell you when you're considering quitting drinking. So essentially a bit of my story. For many years I was drinking and doing drugs, going out, doing all the usual shit that kind of young guys do. And essentially it got to a point where at the start it was fun, I was doing it every weekend, it became more and more regular and started to actually affect all my relationships, my job, and I essentially refused to admit it was a problem. And like any addiction, it finally came to a breaking point. I just knew things had to change. Shit was just going south. My life wasn't going the way I wanted. And essentially, I needed to quit. And I've always been a person who never does anything half-heartedly. I'm either all in or I'm all out. So I knew the only way I could get away from it is if I became completely sober. And that's not the same for everyone. A lot of people, they know they need to reduce drinking. They can manage with having a couple beers per week, and it never has to be more than that. But for me personally, I knew I had to cut it out completely. And that was going to be the only way that I could actually sort my life out. And I tried many times to quit unsuccessfully. And I used the book by Alan Carr called The Easy Way to Quit Alcohol. And essentially that book is made for the worst of the worst. The people who have tried a fucking million times to quit and they still can't. For the people who just, to everyone on the outside, it looks like they have no hope in quitting, no hope in changing their lives. That book is going to sort your life out. So I recommend anyone who's struggled, who's tried loads of different methods and can't quit, give that fucking book a read. And I can remember having this perception in my mind from everything I'd seen on YouTube, essentially thinking that as soon as I had given up and quitted alcohol, suddenly my life was going to change overnight. All the problems that I had already had in my life were suddenly going to be resolved out of the blue. And it was going to be like a magic golden bullet that sorts my whole life out. And that suddenly I wouldn't have all the same shit to worry about. And alcohol was the poison causing all those issues. There's quite a lot of shit online that leads people to think that's the case. But there's actually a cold, hard reality of reducing alcohol or getting sober. And that is that drinking is only ever the symptom of the problem. When you quit drink and when you reduce drink, you have all the same problems and all the same shit in your life that you did before. The only difference now is you have a bit more of a sober mind to actually tackle those problems with. For example, if you're always dealing with your problems, you're getting pissed up, you're going down the pub with your mates, you're doing drugs to forget about your problems, you don't have a fucking hope in hell of solving them. The difference is, when you get sober, all that you essentially have that you didn't have before now is going to be a sound mind to actually think about the problems logically, but it's not a fucking golden bullet that's going to sort out your life. And all the same issues that you previously had, the lack of motivation, the issues with your finances, the temptations all around you, those issues are still always going to be there. And by quitting alcohol, you're not fucking solving all of them overnight. Those problems are still going to be there. And I think it's an important mindset to address before you go into sobriety, before you give a go at reducing your alcohol, so you don't actually have false expectations. And it's the people who have those false expectations who go in thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be so fucking easy, my life's going to be golden after. Those are the people that actually fail and never end up reducing the alcohol consumption because they realise the reality is far from that. That it's actually a lot fucking harder than people make out online.
Getting sober actually requires relearning who you are as a person. And I'll give an example of this. Everyone seems to get a boost in confidence when they're drinking, when they're doing drugs. You can fucking go out, you can talk to anyone, you can chat to any girls, you can become the dog's bollocks when you're out. But the reality is, that's a false sense of confidence. You've not actually gained an understanding of who you are, of how to show your confidence. All you've done is masked it with alcohol, with drugs. And when you're actually off those things, you need to relearn the skills to actually become confident, to be able to speak to people. If you can only ever do those things when you're fucked out your head, you're never truly a confident person. So when you come off alcohol, you actually experience a dip in that confidence because you're suddenly like, hang on, what the fuck? I don't have these skills when I'm sober. And you'll also realise a lot of those people that you had your arm around, that you were chatting to down the pub, that you were having a laugh to, when you decide to change your life and improve things, you have nothing in common with them. All those previous bullshit conversations you had with them are meaningless now. So a lot of those people you'll actually have to cut out in your life. And it's going to feel a bit hard at first, but it's actually going to be a blessing. And I'll tell you why it's a blessing. Those people never truly gave a fuck about you. Those people were never truly your mates. So cutting them out your life is only going to benefit your life. And whilst it might be hard on the short term, you've only got everything to gain by losing them out your life. So whether you're choosing to completely cut alcohol and drugs out your life, or if you want to just kind of take a period of sobriety or cut drink down, there are so many benefits to consider. Like in my life, my finances have improved so much. I've become less of a shitty person. And my gains in the gym, I've seen massive improvements. So don't get me wrong, there's so many benefits of reducing that alcohol consumption. But like I said, it's not a be all end all. It's not going to solve all the issues with your life. So you need to bear that in mind and have that at the forefront of your mind before you go into any vow of sobriety. And if you do go in with that right mindset, the right expectations, you're more likely to actually succeed and see the results you want. That's the point of this video. Do not think it's a fucking golden bullet that's going to sort your life out. Go in with the right expectations and you'll see really good results. So if this video has been useful, drop me a like, follow for more videos on self-improvement, the gym, and becoming the best version of yourself.